This is the Mistress Carrie Situation Report for February 8th, 2023. Your daily entertainment headlines, industry info, and everything rock. Just announced, Disturbed are bringing their Take Back Your Life spring and summer tour to the Xfinity Center in Mansfield, Massachusetts on August 18th. Ginger has been announced as the opening act, with more announcements coming. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. through Ticketmaster. Metallica are asking if you're looking for a reason to dust off your vintage Walkman, announcing via social media that they'll be releasing their upcoming new album, 72 Seasons, on cassette. The limited edition cassette will also include an 8-panel J-card with the lyrics, and just like all the other pre-orders, fans who pre-order the cassette will get an instant MP3 download of Lux Eterna and Screaming Suicide. The Foo Fighters and the Killers are set to head to Asbury Park, New Jersey for the Sea.Hear.Now festival that takes place September 17th and 18th. The Killers will headline night number 1, which will also feature Greta Van Fleet, Sheryl Crow, Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats, Royal Blood, Living Colour, and more. The Foo Fighters will top the bill on day number 2 that also features Weezer, the Beach Boys, the Breeders, and more. Tickets are set to go on sale coming up tomorrow at 10 a.m. Guitarist John 5 just released a new song called Strung Out, and it arrives complete with a playthrough video, and it can be found online. After playing with Rob Zombie for nearly 20 years, John 5 is now the new guitar player for Motley Crue. And his latest solo single has him playing guitar and bass, while his Creatures bandmate Alex Mercado is sitting behind the drum set. And speaking of Motley Crue, Mick Mars, who announced last year his retirement from touring, has recently announced he's in the studio working on his long-awaited debut solo album, with the help of singer and songwriter, country artist Corey Marks. Marks said online, "So many stories and a lot of laughs, talking music, guns, planes, guitars, drums, travel, road stories, health, fitness, zombies, sex, drugs, and rock and roll." During the question and answer session of his solo show in Sweden, Iron Maiden singer Bruce Dickenson was asked how he takes care of his voice, saying, quote, "Well, it's not that I take care of it. I kind of do, but I think I try not to abuse it, if that makes any sense, because the voice will kind of take care of itself as long as you don't abuse it." He continued, quote, "When I got diagnosed with throat cancer in 2014, the thought occurred to me that I might not be able to sing again. Thankfully, that was not the case, but I did think about it and thought, you know what, even if my voice is changed completely, it still doesn't mean I can't tell stories." Laura Jane Grace is hitting the road in 2023. The Against Me vocalist will embark on a solo headlining tour in the United States in April and May. Grace's tour begins on April 5th in Columbia, Missouri, with 2 stops scheduled in New England, in Boston at the MGM Music Hall at Fenway on June 7th, and at Aura in Portland, Maine on June 11th. And according to an article in Variety, the Michael Jackson estate might be setting a new record for selling rights to music catalogs. According to the trade, those in charge of the late artist's affairs are working to sell half of their interest in Jackson's discography for around $800 to $900 million. Variety says Sony and a possible financial partner are negotiating to acquire 50% of the Jackson estate's interest in a number of the artist's sources of income, including his musical catalog, publishing, the MJ Musical Broadway show, and the upcoming film Michael. Primary Wave Music reportedly owns a stake in Jackson's publishing. The company has been a major buyer of music catalogs in recent years, acquiring Bruce Springsteen's catalog for $500 million and Bob Dylan's for around $200 million. And that's your sit rep. For more details on all of the stories, check the links in the show notes of this episode. And don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Mistress Carrie Podcast. New full-length episodes come out every Wednesday. Episode 140, featuring Clint Lowry from Sevendust, is available now.
This is the Ugly Things Podcast, and I'm your host, Mike Stacks. That's right. Ugly Things Magazine, your source for the very best in 60s beat, garage, and psychedelic music since 1983, is now also a podcast. We'll bring you interviews and stories about some of the most exciting, overlooked, and influential bands from the 1960s, 70s, and beyond. In November 1964, the moment happens. John Cale meets Lou Reed.
A mere hummingbird's fart may well have set its principles along differing paths.
Very well put.
Articulate, huh?
Oh, that's why you're a writer, Phil. It's all about wild sounds from past dimensions when rock and roll was young, daring, dangerous, and vital.
Quite often we used to be playing on stage and a fight used to break out, and really, it's just bodies and people flying about, so it's quite rough,
And hear insightful discussions with renowned rock journalists.
I was rejected from trying to write for the school newspaper, and in retaliation, they spelled my name Jarvie Kubernick in the yearbook.
Don't go changing, Harvey.
You're doing it f***ing wrong.
It's just nice to get the real stories down while they're still here.
Yeah, absolutely. Ugly Things, now on the Pantheon Network.